Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm going to try and make this video for Gary for how you might be able to place like a corner or a border when you don't have gold. And I'm hoping that this will, I think it's recording. So let me share my screen with you. Um, screen. Okay, and I'm going to go into QCT. Move some of these away. Out of the way. Here's QCT. Okay, so this is something that I learned from Marie at at Grace in one of the playgrounds, that if you go into select and sew, and again, you have to pick a pattern first, and it does not matter. You're not going to use this pattern. So whatever pattern you pick, you're not going to use it. So just pick something just to get into the screen. And I practiced right here. This is using the marking tool, but in case you don't know how to use the marking tool, I'm going to go to marking tool. I'm going to delete it. Remove all. So when you first open up with your pattern, you can just move it out of the way. If you're on your frame, you would just move it like out of your way because you're not going to sew this pattern. But then you would go to plugins and you go to the marking tool. And I'm not sure how, I was looking at your picture. I'm not sure how you got that on your screen because it doesn't look like the marking tool because it's covering the whole screen. But you would want to use your marking tool if you were at the frame. And if you were simulating, you could measure and you can see if you have the grid, you could simulate it by knowing the grids are 1 inch on this. So I'm going to pretend like I've got a border here and I'm going to mark it. So if this was my real quilt, I would put a lot more points in this so I would know if there was any unusual points in this, but I'm just going to make something like the shape that you have there. And I'm going to make it so that the inside in this border this way is not the same size as this one. So I'd make this one a little bit smaller because sometimes that is the case. And gold borders and corners works better when your borders are the same size, but that isn't always the case. Oh, why is it not working? Add. Just trying to draw this here. Add, remove last. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay. So I've made my border or whatever it is, the shape that's similar to yours to on my screen. But I'm not going to try and place anything in the screen because there's something that I learned, and this is what's so cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close out of Select and Sew, and I'm going to immediately open up into PatternCAD. And when you see this box right here, if you hadn't had a marking first, this little safe area thing won't even show up in PatternCAD. So you have to have a marking. I had to use your marking tool in order to get this to even show. So when I click on this, look what happens. So this is the red lines are my safe area, and this actual is my tracing. So I can go in, I go to select and sew, and now let's go to gold borders and corners, and I'm just going to grab something that kind of looked like yours. I think it was something looked like that. And if you're going to try and place it, what I would do, let me move this, is I would select all, so now I can manipulate it, and I would size it first. I'd probably move it a little bit over here like that. I can drag it when all the points are selected. I can drag it first on my screen, and I would probably want to lock the ratio lock, and I'd increase my step so that I can shrink it first. Then I would probably turn off my nodes so I can really see what it is I'm working with. And I'm just going to keep like manipulating it until I get it to fit. And one of the things that I like about this is that in gold borders and corners, if um, my borders are not the same size, I can't really use gold borders and corners, but I can with this because then I can eventually unlock right here and I can grow it in one direction or shrink it in one direction only and get it to fit that way. So I'm going to like, let's just keep decreasing just a little bit. All right, a little bit more, a little bit more. Oops, wrong way. I think I undid something. So let's go back. Undo, undo, undo. I must have unclicked something. Now it's acting as one. So let me move it again now. Nope, I undid something. So hold on, let me just get the pattern again. Um, No, I unconnected something is what's happened. Yes, just going to get it the same corner again, open, and I'm going to select all, unselect, select all. I'm going to really size it down fast. Anyway, let's see, one more. Drag it over here. Again, sorry, I'm not doesn't seem like I'm fast enough. So if I wanted to grow this in this direction so that this border fits a little bit better, I can do that. I can uncheck the box and then I can just grow it in this direction and keep moving it. And while I've only, see now it actually fits, right? And that's really kind of cool. I can't do that with gold borders and corners. So that's when I've done it this way. So this is actually, I think, in my humble opinion, can be more useful than gold borders and corners, and you don't have to have gold for this. So once this is placed, when I've done whatever I need, and when I'm happy with it being placed, I don't have to try and place it again. I'm just going to go to quilt. It says now you will be prompted to save your pattern. You do have to save it, and it does not matter what you call it. I'm just going to call it one so I can get through this screen here. I'm going to say save. It's going to go back into select and sew. And look, your pattern is just how you left it. So now I'm going to say quilt and it's going to give me an error message. It's going to say this pattern has not been placed. Do you wish to proceed? Well, it is placed. So you do want to proceed. Yes. So you're going and then now you're just going to stitch it out. And technically speaking, even though I only did the corner, you could trace your entire um, uh, border here. And there's no reason you couldn't place it inside a PatternCAD and do exactly the same thing with the whole thing all at once. So you would just sew like normal. So I hope that this helps you. That's what I do when gold bordering corners doesn't work for me. So have a good evening.